Welcome to Your Known Unknown, where Source and I will help to shed light on what's unknown for you. Welcome to your daily spread. This message is meant for you if you're here today and you find it. We're going to be pulling some energies today as towards what the next chapter is for the day, what we're stepping into, how we're stepping into it, where we need to step it up for the day. Should be pretty short, sweet, simple, to the point. So without further ado, let's get to it, let's into it, and let's pull some cards. Cool. It's cold today here. Guess it's winter time, you know. What do we need to see? It's still, really? Alright. 6 of Cups. Alright. This has been coming up a lot lately. Kind of like a naivety energy. Naivete. 7 of Wands, reversed. Little lack of discipline. We also have the Ace of Cups today. This is kind of like a timeline. So you keep pulling some cards. Friendship, love, lack of discipline, and like not naivety, more like a kindness, an innocence about you, about the day. Supporting energy is the Tower reverse. So you know, today maybe not drastic forward movement. Today maybe still kind of sitting in this complacent attitude, but you're not a bad person, so like who cares, you know? You can progress 1% or you can progress 100%, 200%, whatever you want. Cards are saying that like not much progress, but you're taking care of stuff and you're going to be doing what you love, what you appreciate, what you need to express self-love and fill up your cup. 9 of Cups and King of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so it's not bad energy at all. Your progress is internal. It is shedding light on a lot of weaknesses today, vices, crutches, whatever. It's really shining a lot of light on that. Not like it's going to be amplified per se, but more like you're going to be extremely aware of these things, how they're holding you back. And so we want to just remember that. We want to remember that these are just thoughts. These thoughts don't have to trigger us or stress us out, but they do need to be addressed because these are thoughts being brought up to the forefront. You know, things that are loud, aka vibrant, aka really distinctive in your mind's eye, those are usually the clear sign thoughts to focus on and pay attention to. I recognize that not a lot of people have been taught how to thought, how to think, what that can mean in life, because who and how we were raised, educational system and stuff like that. Nobody taught us to be a free thinker and how to navigate thoughts. Well, if you sit alone enough, you start to look at your thoughts and understand that there are differences to them. You start to relate to them and understand that there are different vibrancies, different types of senses, different exposures to these quantum thoughts, and then you start to really find out what's your own thought and what's not your own thought, and what's quantum and what's real and what's fake and what's self or what's being perceived. So thinking has a lot to do with it. Same thing with breathing. There are so many different breathing techniques to allow different emotions and different mindsets to come through, right? You just think it's in and out, when really there's like right off the bat, there's like 36 ways to breathe just to start to control yourself and your body and start to gift it different forms of pranayama, different forms of prana in general, chi, whatever you believe in, air, space, the divine, anything. So same thing with your thoughts. Enough practice, enough isolation, enough silence and quiet and calm, and you start to really distinguish the differences between subtle thoughts, loud thoughts, intuitive thoughts, egoic thoughts, things like that. It takes a long time, but it works. Especially if you're a lot older and you haven't really tapped more into reprogramming self, or like any kind of reframing or rewiring of your neurological pathways or stuff like that. It's tough. It's tough to retrain your thoughts and then to recomprehend your thoughts. Because in order to really do that, you have to separate yourself from your thoughts first. On a belief level, you have to really detach from them and then integrate that detachment, and then you're still sitting with yourself. And within that self are your thoughts. Our thoughts, not necessarily yours. But that's what it takes. It takes breaking down mentally, not having a mental breakdown, but breaking down those mental walls and boundaries and limitations in self in order to analyze your own thoughts. Anyways, that's really deep for just today's message. I wasn't quite getting to that, but I guess I said it, and so here we are. Some of you needed to know that. I'd say today would be a good day to put up blinders, but put your blinders up on either side and just focus. Today doesn't have to be bad at all, but today also doesn't have to be thrilling, Today can just be well, right? It's better than you've been gifted a lot in the past. Your bad days in life have been tumultuous in comparison. The Fool card. Also, major arcana for today's energy. Yeah. So, keeping into the practices that you're trying to implement with this new year, with this new self, with this new mindset, new drive, new ambitions. Lots of solar plexus energy coming through here too. Lots of energy with yellow. What day is today? Saturday? Don't worry about the day for you. When this message finds you, it's meant to find you. But today's Saturday. Today is Saturn Day, too. A day of judgment and responsibility. A day of karma. Karma creation, especially. Isn't that funny? How we're all trained like as kids, it's Saturday, go out and play. But Saturday is Saturn's day. And yes, as much as play is well-deserved, if it's well-deserved, also we were kids, so it kind of just comes with the territory. But as an adult, you're kind of programmed to play on Saturdays when it's a really good day if you want to work with planetary magic, or if you really want to enhance a lot of drive. Put the intention of knowing today's Saturn's day. Today I will act upon the will and the way of Goddess Saturn, right? And then you go about your day doing things. Do your chores. Do your household tasks. Do your physical well-being tasks. Do your non-negotiables out of gratefulness and grace and allegiance to your planets, wherever that lies within your individual chart system. How does Saturn connect to you? Where do you have Saturnian planetary dominion in your star chart, in your birth chart? Look it up. That would be an amazing offering to offer Saturn. It would love to be known and be made, that you be made aware of how and why and where the relationship of Saturn's connecting in with you. Same thing with every other planet. It doesn't just have to be Saturday Saturn. It can be any day. Go look up what planets are corresponded with which days of the week, and then each day that week you look up your star chart. You look up especially that day, let's say Monday, moon energy. What's your moon sign? You also want to look up within your moon sign maybe other signs that are corresponded with that. So let's say I'm a Scorpio moon. So not only would I look up Scorpio moon, but I'd go look up what Scorpio is afflicted in my whole chart, because I know that the moon is such a powerful dominant energy, as well as the sun, the most dominant that we can experience. It's going to shed a lot more light upon your internal feeling, your internal control, your internal comprehension of the energies you experience regularly and ignorantly if you're not made aware of them already. That's kind of how that works, and it's huge, because as soon as you're made aware of these things, doors open up again. Knowledge, wisdom, downloads, everything like that. It's all self-exploration in this world. And once you master self-exploration, you're never bored. You're never alone. You're never without thought. You're never needing to be in fear of anything, because you're starting to get to know yourself, starting to learn to respect and have a relationship with self to self. You know, that's powerful. It's interesting too, because the deeper into this astrology you get, it's like it really describes you. And then once you understand you a bit more, you're like, oh man, that makes so much sense. I do act that way. I do have my Mars in Taurus, and I do understand how that works. And then I watch all these YouTube videos that explain that. I do all this research. I ask GPT sometimes, like I do this. I read some books about it, astrology books. What does that mean? What does Moon and Scorpio mean? What does Earth, Sun and Cappy mean? What does Rising Aquarius mean? And then I start to apply that to my understanding, my knowledge base. Then you get to choose who and how and why, what the fuck you are. It's just you have to understand you first and get some footing so you can move forward into being and creating the person that you want to be. And that doesn't come easy when you're trying to change yourself. You have to accept yourself. So the idea of what I just said isn't with some kind of result in the outcome. It's the process and the path the whole way through it. First and foremost, it's that you are understanding you. Now you can work on you. It's all self-development. Period. Let's say you have a problem with lashing out or outbursts, right? We'll just call you passionate, okay? I can relate. What took the aspect of lashing out or reacting out of the equation for me, was an immense amount of stupid pain constantly and continuously in life. So it kind of desensitized you and put a thought in your head of, I don't get what I want when I react. So you had to come to that conclusion. Then you have to practice enough times of these situations that the universe puts these tests in front of you to desensitize you to reacting out because it's just only hurt you. You finally are learning your lesson. It takes a few times. It takes some time in general to learn how to control your emotions, how to responsibly have outlets and not be this fiery, passionate person, right? Then it takes even more time for you to actually practice that instead of just be aware of that. It takes a few times, some time to become aware of it and really understand what you're doing. And then it takes some more time to actually practice. But you do it pretty quickly. At least me, I'm a quick learner. So as soon as I'm like, oh, I can understand something, well, done deal. For other people, it might be a little tougher. Be easy on yourself, to each their own. You are perfectly created for you. So it works, however, in your own way. You know how. I don't. It's not my job to. It's my job to pull cards and tell you what you're already aware of, but maybe not fully, comprehensively, or perceptually. So today's energies, how we're stepping into it, it's like this outcome is pretty good, but the way that we're going about it is magical. Like how we're stepping into this energy, the energy that's being brought into our awareness, into our potentiality of belief integration for the day, the lessons we'll learn, the experience we'll have for today will be conducted through well-being and gratefulness and mindsets of such. It will be through self-abundance and active creation because you're tired, you know what to do, you're capable of doing it, and today's a good day to get stuff done. And the Fool card, huge major arcana. You're stepping into this new chapter that we've been talking about for a few weeks now, at least since the new year has started. And it has been bringing shifting energies into this new age of Aquarius as we're stepping into these new moons, moving into Aquarius, as we're stepping into Aquarius season. So this is a very free, a very uniquely driven, a very independent, a very humanitarian, very sociable, very relatable energy that you are navigating with to cultivate Ace of Cups. Six of Cups, more community, more passion, more charity, more abundance to give. It's not that really you want to just be a giver. It's that you've recognized your worth. You know you're worth a lot more. And so you're going to take what you want so you can end up giving more in the future. That's how that ebb and flow works. It's not toxic positivity. It's, I'm so tired of being toxically positive that I'm going to cut some cords. I'm going to say, fuck it, and cut it out of my life because I want to be able to provide. I want to be able to give more than I'm giving now. That's why we're doing it. It's selfless, but it still starts with self. And in order to have that happen, you have to be selfish, which starts with self first too. They go hand in hand. It's not good or bad. They both start with self. One's a little more egoic, one's a little less egoic. And you need both to be. Just remember that. You need both ego and spirit to be. My last reading, my last daily spread, I think, was the 333 titled one. And I believe in that I said, it's kind of like you got spirit on one shoulder and then the devil on the other shoulder. And the devil being like Capricorn energy in the tarot. So it's not necessarily bad. It's just like vices. It's ego. It's ego. Okay? And then you have the divine on the other shoulder, and you're kind of caught in between on which one you want to go. Well, here, it's kind of more like the energies of the divine on one shoulder and then Saturn on the other. So it's not as materialistic as the devil card would represent. It's mutual acceptance and growth via self to self that allows responsibility and good karma to prevail. So we stay disciplined and we're not hard on ourselves with it. This is an innocence card. Also, tell me to look up something real quick. So unprofessional, right? Actually, I think, this is the most professional thing ever, pulling up these books. You know why? Because I'm an intuitive reader. I can say, feel whatever I want and mean, but also, like, good teachers like to learn too. We like to learn. I like to be exact with the message. It's not about proving to you that I can free flow. It's about understanding where I'm not comprehensive of these. Where I'm not comprehensive of something that the divine wants to shed through. And in fact, we're aware of that. And so we yell at me and go, pick up the book. You're missing out on something. I'm like, oh, okay. Am I? Sweet. Because I still tap into emotions. I'm still a human being. I still have convoluted thoughts and energies. It's tough to balance. It's for... I was going to say for almost everybody it's impossible, but that's not true, because you can do it too. Everything I can do, you can do better. Promise. When reversed, the Seven of Wands can indicate that you doubt your purpose. Everything I can do, you can do better. Just remember that. You may struggle to be heard and may have to overcome constant obstacles, but now it's unclear if it's all going to be worthwhile. As a result, the card can show anxiety and hesitation. Okay. With this Cups energy too, I will say, if anybody is in relationships or entertaining other energies, this card is saying, when applied to relationships, oh, I'm sorry, hang on one second. Taking on unnecessary burdens, feeling overwhelmed with continual problems. This applies to relationships too. So ask which imperfections you can live with and which aspects, such as your partner's attitude or circumstances or the way that they treat you. It doesn't have to be about you. It's actually about you. And with that, it's what's affecting you, how. And that's how you communicate appropriately too. It's not that you're doing this, making me feel this way. It's that I feel X way. I feel some type of way. And it's a result of, and then you label what it is exactly that they are doing. You start off with I, so it's not so directional. But what within your acceptance is a non-negotiable. And without relationships, if we're not talking about relationships, actually, fuck that. Let's talk about relationships, because you can have a relationship to any and everything. Self to self to bed, self to lamp. I love lamp. Self to tarot cards. Self to high self and self to high self. Us and the divine. And me versus you, right? You can have relationships with everything. The air you breathe, the things you look at, the domicile you enjoy, the things you've left in the back corner of your cupboard for years and years and years, and you forgot about those wasted dreams and aspirations you wanted to try at one point. Those things, those you have relationships to. Wouldn't you want to have the best relationship with any and everything in your life? The only other difficult thing with that is when it comes to people, there's two conscious energies making choices. This is why I don't like to do love readings, because they are inaccurate. because we can change our destinies, especially the more aware we become of life and who and why and what we are. Would you believe me if I told you that there were aspects in my star chart that have timeline jumped over the last few years that no longer reside with energies in me because we made them and shifted them? Would you believe it when I say that all the electronic devices that all said the same things back when I was a Cancerian moon, no longer am I a Cancerian moon, now it has been Scorpio for the last 4 years, and I've had to understand more Scorpionic traits just because of that? It's been very weird. Now, I could be making that up, who knows, but that's what I witnessed, that's what I experienced, that's my reality and my own validation. Who are you to tell me I'm wrong? Even if you did tell me I'm wrong, I'd still take that, in with a grain of salt, but I'd still listen to it and be like, explain how. Because I'm here to cultivate a relationship with you, and if somebody comes up and goes, oh, you're full of shit, I'm going to be like, okay, man, well, that doesn't have to affect me. So it doesn't have to affect you too. What's a non-negotiable for you within relationships? And then you get to abide by those, stand by those, and be dignant with those, integral with those. This is you. You get to create whatever you want. If you're a person that's just like, I don't know, I'm pretty go with the flow, I don't really have any restrictions and stuff like that, that's good, but that's also one of two things. Either ignorance is bliss or toxic positivity. Could be a mental health problem too. Again, in order to be so selfless, you have to be selfish. You can't always just go with the flow. You have to have an opinion. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to stand by yourself. You have to stand up for yourself, right? With yourself. There has to be a way to do it. You have to find a balance. What energies do we need to step it up in? What energies here today are you wanting us to step it up in? Thank you. Page of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Where do we need to step it up, Spirit? And Page of Swords reversed. Things that can help us step up into this well-being, this Nine of Cups, this King of Pentacles, and the Fool energy to help us really advance and tap into these energies that the universe is presenting to us are a lot of Pentacles and a lack of action, a lack of direction, a lack of focus, right? Yeah. Staying complacent. That's how you don't achieve what you want to achieve. By not doing anything. So get out of bed. Make yourself get up. Get on the town. Go do your responsibilities for Saturn. Go do your good deeds for Saturn. Go help yourself out. You do some shit today for a better tomorrow. That's just what we got to come to terms with. That's how it works. You have to give in order to receive in this. When you're talking with the divine, you have to be selfless, and then you can be selfish. But when you're talking with the mundane, you get to be selfish so you can be selfless. When you're talking with yourself, you get to set yourself up for success tomorrow. That's how you do it. You go to sleep early so you can feel good today. You eat better yesterday so you heal more for today. And it's all literally a uphill battle, but I'd like to call it more of a correct way as opposed to the right way. We could call it right way, and then the wrong way would be the left way. That would be downhill. that would be off the wagon. And we're not going to do that to ourselves. We appreciate ourselves so much more than to step back and what's the term, falter on our follies or something like that. I don't know. Also, a big thing is I'm seeing a lot of material connected to your heart, and that which has been connected with that too, and heart mind connection are very loud here. So you might think and dwell a lot, which causes things like emotional spending, stuff like that. Don't do that. Don't waste incoming energy. Again, your incoming energy. It doesn't have to be financial. It can be energetic too. It can be mental. But we're not wasting it. We need to step up in appreciating it, appreciating your flaws, because they create you. They are what made you you. And they were made for you, by you, from you. You were always meant to fail. Because you just haven't been, you're not supposed to be succeeding that yet, or those things, or something. But you do create your own success too. This universe is such a paradox. It's not even a duality, it's a quadrality. Keep in mind that your left or right choices also have left or right choices about them. And the more aware you become, the more fucking confusing it gets. And I'm not going to lie about that. But at the same time, you integrate your truths, and then you start to pick out the hay out of that haystack to find the needle. That needle is your self-to-self connection, your highest empowering alignment, right? We want to not take minuscule actions or emotional actions to support our success. We want to take bold, structured, stable actions. Yeah. Today, especially. Intentful actions. So, today's not the day to just kind of hop behind the wheel of the car and see where the day takes you. Today's the day to get your to-do list, set a practical amount of to-dos to do. You don't want to overestimate what you can accomplish in a day. You want to set yourself up for success. You want to do what you know you're going to do. You say, what am I going to do today? Well, I don't know. What are you actually going to end up doing today? I write my to-do lists, when really those to-do lists for the day could have been a to-do list for the week or a to-do list for the month, and then I have thousands of papers with unchecked off boxes in there, and you think that that's a little self-defeating to recognize? Yeah. Especially as visual learners, where 80% of our awareness is brought in through our eyes, kind of makes you think a little bit like, oh, did I fail? Yeah, it makes you feel like that for long enough, when really you just didn't help yourself out a little bit. Maybe cut that to-do list in half. That kind of stuff really does help. I start making to-do lists now with 3 things to do in my day. 3, because that's some weak-ass shit, and I can do that. 50? That's tough to do, especially on a work day. But today is Saturday. Today is an important day for you to accomplish life for you. I think we're complete here with these energies. Do you want me to play more cards, Spirit? Okay. We are complete here. Thank you for receiving me with this. I hope this message finds you well, fluidly, and connectively, and comprehensively as well. I hope you can intuit your own guidances. The messages laid out for you here today are for you if you so choose to accept them. We're going to take a deep breath to integrate these, as well as disconnect from the channel. as I send out some loving Reiki healing distant energies to you too, just because I love y'all and I want y'all to have and feel that which I feel on a fucking minute to minute basis. And it just makes me want to cry all the time. All the time. I have to distract myself with the real world in order to not become so emotionally enveloped in the subtle energies that are being presented to you here, day by day, breath by breath. So that's why I pull the cards for you, because I feel them. So you don't have to, unless you want to. Thank you for receiving me. We'll take a deep breath now in, please. All right. That's it. We're complete. And until next time, much love.